Many people find my work because they want to do the inner work. They want to dive deep into the inner child and heal those emotional wounds that keeps them away from their true authentic self. What they don't realize is by doing the inner work, they're finding and stepping into their true authentic purpose. Watch this video. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Let's dive in. Before I start, I want to just mention, people ask me all the time who are not watching my YouTube, so I want to just let you guys know as well. Truth Room is open for enrollment. The Truth Room is my monthly membership with 4.5 years of recordings of questions and answers and exercises and spiritual strategy. And I have a ton of structured healing approaches and daily practices to integrate this work. We also meet live every single Friday at noon Eastern Time. That's a lie, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, to have live calls, live Q&A, live coaching, live healings with me for an hour every single week. So if you can only make 1 week, it's worth it. So just check out the Truth Room. It is like-minded souls around the world who are basically doing the generational wound work, healing tribal injury, healing inner child wounds, and being their true authentic self. Most people in that group are also highly sensitive. So you understand the lack of mirroring that we all share in this world when we are sensitive. Now, diving deep into this topic, we have to understand that when we do this inner work, and this is what's happening in my Truth Room, when we do all this inner work and we get to next levels, you have this burning desire to do your soul's calling. You may already have that burning desire. The problem is you're finding yourself in these careers or jobs that are not feeling joyful, purposeful, meaningful, deep enough. They're not feeling like they're reflecting or getting to the full expression of you because, and I've done other videos on this, but I want to briefly tell you, when you are not healed, meaning you're not living as your true authentic self because it's been bashed or rejected or abandoned, or you've self-abandoned, or you've had some type of coping mechanism that has made you other than who you truly are to survive a toxic world and environment, you are now in the career of those coping mechanisms. I oftentimes call it the ego career. So you're in a career that gets your ego needs met, your inner child wound needs met, like validation, like status, like survival, just paying the bills. But that's not actually what the true divine calling is. And this is what so often my clients say to me, well, Candace, I know who I am now, and I love all these new boundaries, and I love just how I work my process, but what if my true authentic self doesn't make it in the world? What if I won't be enough? What if I won't make the money I need to make to have the dreams that I have? And I say, if you know that you're truly enough and that you're born perfect for your purpose, think about it. If I'm born perfect for the thing I desire in the world, which so many of you don't yet believe, but you will when you do more of the inner work, right? Inner work 1 and inner work 2 are open for enrollment. Check that out. It's super important to do this work. But what we have to understand is if I'm born perfect for my purpose, which is abundant, which is fulfilling, which is expressive, which is basically being you out loud, and if I'm enough, it's going to be lucrative. It's going to be abundant. It's going to be fantastic. And so I always say, I love to help people in their entrepreneurial journeys because what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is being paid to be you. You are your brand as an entrepreneur. There is no way around it. That's why it's really scary when you step into your true authentic purpose, just like you're in true love, because there's so much risk of, oh my gosh, now I have to be afraid if I'm not enough, be afraid if it doesn't work, that means something about me. And when you do the inner work, you realize all of that was fear and none of it is true. It is 100% false evidence appearing real because when you believe in you, everybody else will. And the problem is you don't believe in you until other people do. That's backwards. I have a young client right now, he's 30 years old and he's trying to do his entrepreneur thing and his big block is I need validation before I can believe in myself more. And I say, no one's going to believe in someone that's like, do you like me? People believe in you and you're like, you're going to like me. When I first designed my courses, my first course, maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, I designed it because I knew this is what worked for me and so many others. I designed my own mechanisms, my own, machine of how to work this. And it was different than anything out there because I couldn't get healed by anything out there. I had to create my own. So I knew that in creating my own and how it worked in my own life, it was absolutely going to work in your life if you did it. So I didn't launch my first course and say, I hope people like it. I hope it works. I said, this works. And you can tell the energy in that online course. I think it was my 6-week course, Soul Lab. You can tell the energy in there. I'm very much like, this is what you do. This is what needs to happen. This is what works. And that course was super successful, like all of them are. Because every course that I create is after I've healed a very specific zone of my life. So I know how to do that, and I know how to do that. It's mastery. So when we're trying to help people, we need to really help ourselves before we can do that. The other thing is people come to me and they're like, well, how am I going to be of service? How am I going to help? I go, well, how do you help you? You can't go help a bunch of people if you're not helped. Think about it. I'm not going to go tell people how to heal their inner child wounds if I haven't done it. That would not make any sense. You have to walk the talk because integrity has impact, right? So those are the first 2 stuck points that people have when they're trying to step into their true authentic purpose, right? After they've done a ton of inner work. The third thing is you think by now I should be here. What you're forgetting again is it is perfection in the process. You are not completely healed. You just know how to work your healing. So that gets us stuck to this spiritual perfectionism, number 3, which is, oh, I'm spiritual, so by now I shouldn't have to deal with this, or I should be over this, or this shouldn't be an issue, or I should be here by now. Now you're judging your truth. This is where you are. One of the biggest things in spiritual perfectionism is not judging or saying you should be something other than you are, but working with you where you are to feel so much self-love and so much self-belief that you know there's no chance that no one else is going to not believe what you're saying because you truly believe it with all of yourself, right? So for review, the 3 stuck points on your journey to claiming your true authentic self, your true meant to be purpose, okay? First one is, if you're still looking for external validation before you believe in it, before you put it out there in the world, that's backwards. That means you have a little more inner work to do or work your process as you're putting it out there. It's not like I'm not afraid to do things before I do them. I have fear and I do it anyway because I really truly believe that fear is false evidence. It always has been in my life. So I don't need them to tell me that it's good before I do it. I just know that it's true and I believe in myself and my purpose and enough to put it out there. Number 2, that self-doubt that says, will it be lucrative? Will people like it? Will it make sense in this society? So often we've been gaslit by this society and misunderstood, so we think our purpose will be too. And that might be true until you say, I know my purpose and my work is awesome. It's worth it. And I always tell the story about when I put my courses out, I know with complete conviction that they work already. So I'm basically servicing this work up to anyone who needs to do what I've just done, right? And I always say this too, if you're not quite healed in what you're sharing, do more of your own work to get yourself more confident that others will benefit as well. And the third thing is that spiritual perfectionism that pretends it's spiritual, but it's your ego to kind of hold you back and say, I shouldn't feel this doubt now. What's wrong with me? I'm not ready. No, I do feel the doubt and I'm going to work with it while I do my work. So that spiritual perfectionism of, oh, it should be bigger out there in the world and I should be famous for this because it's my purpose. Some people's purpose is to actually just heal one person on the street or to be a healing presence. You don't need to be famous to be your purpose. What you do need to feel is that it matters. There's meaning to you and it's actually affecting people in a positive way. That's service work. It doesn't matter how big or small. That's the spiritual ego. So these 3 stuck points are really going to help you. Number 1, stop looking for validation externally, self-validate. Number 2, don't doubt that it's not enough. That's telling me I have an unworthiness wound. Number 3, spiritual perfectionism. Really notice, is this the perfectionist or is this the truth? Check it out. So we have to be very specific about these things. So if you need help with this, I'm going to give you some options because people email me all the time saying, Candace, where do I start? Inner Work 1 and Inner Work 2 are the inner works that you need. They are on rotation every 8 weeks. So we are starting Inner Work 2, which happens to be a lot about abandonment wounds and trauma bonds and things. We're starting that April 10th, so literally Wednesday. If you want to do Inner Work 1 and dive into a lot of this inner child work, wound work, generational wound work, that starts in May. So you can check that out. If you're someone who's like, what is my true identity? Emotional rehab. You'll rehabilitate yourself back to the truth of who you are, outside of family structure, outside of society's definitions, but really from the universe. That's emotional rehab. We are live right now, 2 more months. So if you jump in now, I will allow you to go into the live calls every single week. So that's emotional rehab. Huge. If you're working on mother, father, and generational wound healing, shadow work. That's on demand. And lastly, my masterclass, the Mecca of all Mecca, the last one I created, the masterclass, is I Am Worthy. This is what a lot of people need because it's all encompassing and it gets you to that point of really truly knowing your worth and knowing your need to be in the world is needed. So what you seek is seeking you. That is I Am Worthy. It also gives you a 30-day after effect to integrate the learning. So I Am Worthy is also on demand. They're all on demand, but if you get in now with emotional rehab, you can join our lives. That's all for today. If you guys want something because money is an issue, but you really want community, join the Truth Room. $47 a month. I show up for 4 live calls a month. There's 4.5 years of information in there and videos and Q&As and everything. And you can cancel anytime. You can literally sign up and cancel the next week and you won't be charged the next month. So check all those out, please. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you can share this with one person you think it could help out, that's your service work. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.